It's been 3 years since I went against my family to be with my boyfriend, Marvin Stuart. At last, my parents have finally agreed to let me marry him. I rushed back to our place at once, eager to share the news with him, only to end up overhearing his conversation with his childhood friend, Camellia Hough. They're redeveloping the area where my family home is, and we're going to get a huge buyout payment. You can finally abandon that loser and officially be with me now, she declares. You wouldn't have had to settle for being with her if my family hadn't gone bankrupt back then. Marvin agrees to it right away. I'll lie to her, saying that my family's in debt so that she'll break up with me. Let's get married right after that. I swallow down the words I'd been prepared to say and calmly enter the house. Marvin turns to me with sorrowful expression. My family owes a debt of $5 million. I don't want you to have to suffer with me. Let's break up. I nod. Sure. Soon after, I sent my parents a text. You don't need to transfer the 3 buildings to Marvin anymore. Also, call off the redevelopment project on the south side of the city. Since Marvin wants to break up with me, I'll grant him his wish. As it stands, we've always been from 2 different worlds. Marvin Stuart froze the instant he saw me nod, the feigned sorrow in his expression, stiffening awkwardly as well. He'd probably envisioned over 10,000 different scenarios of me bursting into tears and begging on my knees to stay with him. The only thing he never expected was the fact that I'd agree to it without a fight. Once the brief flicker of shock passed, however, he became furious. What the hell is that supposed to mean, Evelyn? You're agreeing to it just like that? Tell me the truth then. Have you been wanting to break up with me for a long time now? Before I could even speak, Camellia Hough, who Marvin had always referred to as his beloved childhood friend, jabbed a finger at my face and started chewing me out. You're so heartless, Evelyn. Marv's family is in trouble, and he only made the painful decision to break up with you because he didn't want to drag you down with him. Yet you don't even bother trying to convince him otherwise. I feel so bad for Marv. He wasted 3 years of his life on you. Their reaction made me scoff. They were the ones who couldn't wait to kick me to the curb, but here they were, twisting things around and painting me the villain instead. A useless loser like you isn't good enough for Marv at all. Camellia continued to screech at me. She accused me of trying to dump Marvin the moment I found out his family had gone bankrupt, calling me a selfish woman with no sense of responsibility. Eyeing her coldly, I asked, "Oh, and why are you here in the house my boyfriend and I share anyway?" The question silenced Camellia, and her expression became a little unnatural. Seeing this, Marvin immediately jumped in to explain. See, Cammy heard the bad news about my family and came over to console me. Don't assume that everyone else is as petty and cold as you. Oh, really? I remarked nonchalantly. I'd heard every word of their conversation just now. I knew the so-called debt of $5 million was just an excuse for him to ride off into the sunset with Camellia. Her family was going to be rolling in money again once they got the buyout payment. Camellia thought I'd been cowed. She couldn't keep the smugness off her face. Wrapping her arms around Marvin, she lifted her chin in triumph. Fine. I'll tell you the truth, Evelyn. The old district where my house is has been chosen for redevelopment. Once I get the buyout payment, I'll be loaded. By being with me, Marv won't have to suffer anymore. Besides, do you think you would have been lucky enough to be with him if my family hadn't gone bankrupt back then? He only agreed to date you out of pity, even though it meant having to live in poverty with you. Now that I'm about to have money again, it's time for him to return to my side. I looked at Camelia's gloating face and coolly commented, I see. In that case, I hope the payout your family receives will be enough for you to get the last laugh. Marvin's expression darkened at once. What's that supposed to mean, Evelyn? Just because you're incapable, you can't stand seeing others do well either? Camellia marched right up to me and shoved me hard. Go to hell! Why is a broke bitch like you trying to act tough, huh? You were never worthy of Marv in the first place. At that moment, Marvin's parents, Kelly Dunn and Fred Stewart, came over. The moment Kelly saw Camellia, her face broke into a wide smile. Oh, you're here, Camellia. Why aren't you making yourself at home? I'll get you a drink. But the instant she turned and saw me, her smile turned into a scowl. Why are you still here, Evelyn? Marvin already made things clear to you. How can a woman be this shameless and clingy? Fred chimed in. Kelly's right. Considering our family situation, a penniless woman who can't even come up with the funds for a wedding shouldn't be dragging Marvin down. It's important for people to know their place. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. It was pretty entertaining to see the entire family putting on a show for me. After seeing their disgusting performance, I felt no lingering sense of attachment. I wanted to head upstairs to pack my things, but at the very next second,